On this week's episode of Into Geek Podcast, we discussed the man, the myth, the legend, Sir Sean Connery, who unfortunately left us at the young age of 90 this week. But before that, we get into a little comic book news as Oscar Isaac has become the new Moon Knight. Netflix has gotten another big movie gem, and this might be another nail in the coffin of theaters. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Into Geek Podcast. On today's show, I guess. I mean, maybe it's,
whenever you listen to it.
Yeah. We're talking about Sean Connery. Unfortunately, the classical actor died here recently at the age of 90. We're also bringing up some new stuff since the last month was all about horror movies. We're cleansing our palate, and we're getting back into traditional geek stuff. So on today's docket, we're talking about Netflix streaming. They cast Moon Knight, which is really cool, and then Disney Plus announced all of their stuff coming out for November. Some of it's cool, some of it I don't really care about or whatever. But as always, Chase is here.
I'm here. Allison's not though.
She's not here tonight. No intro for her tonight.
Yeah, she's a big horror fan, so she was only going to be here for October.
Yeah, exactly. She's really broken up about it. Yeah, she needed a little.
We'll see her around Christmas time. She comes out on the holidays.
One episode, and it's just like all about Elf, and it's like dark horror facts about Elf or whatever, about Will Ferrell on set just like hitting people and stuff. Where do you want to start tonight?
I guess Sean Connery. We could start with him.
I mean, I was thinking we start with the news and stuff.
Oh, we can start with the news. Whatever you want to start with.
I just thought we would build up to the Sean Connery of the Sean Connery of everything.
Okay, yeah, we can do that
with my terrible accent.
So what's in the news?
So I'm super excited. So a few weeks ago, we'd actually kind of mentioned that they hadn't cast Moon Knight yet. Yes. That's one of my favorite characters.
Yes, it is.
And for people that don't know who Moon Knight is, he was originally kind of like Marvel's Batman.
A little bit.
He's always pitched as that, and earlier on in the early '90s and stuff, he had a lot of similarities. Like he was a rich billionaire, owned his own company, had a bunch of gadgets, had a very specific butler named like Frenchie, which is kind of like Alfred a little bit. And he would go and fight crime. Unfortunately, his sales weren't great, and so as we moved along, they began. I think it was Garth Ennis, maybe, and he made him more schizophrenic, and so he gave him more personality, which it might have happened before then. I'm more familiar with that run specifically because it kind of like pushed him back in, had like amazing artwork and everything in that, super violent. And so the character is like Batman, except he has multiple personalities. And as it went along, there was like a really good run, I think like maybe 5 years ago, where it starts off with him in like an actual mental hospital. And he doesn't know if he was Moon Knight or not. And so it starts off with him just like seeing things in his head. And so he's in like a group therapy and stuff. So it's really cool to like play with all that. So getting an actor who can do all those things, you can maybe say like, James McAvoy from Split, but I think that's such a on the nose casting that like you kind of can't do it at that point.
Actors don't like to repeat what they've done. It's like I've done schizophrenia, I've done multiple
unless
personalities.
You're John Cusack, who does the same thing every movie.
Sure.
So and like you brought up Shia LaBeouf, which is like a big fan casting, and like people were for whatever reason like really into that.
They just want to see that guy succeed.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
like he had to suffer through the Transformers. He was on Disney for so long. He wants to be known as like a serious actor. We want him to get that chance.
Well, what's funny is that like I think like all these kid actors start out kind of normal and wanting, and then they get chewed up during like the whole like Hollywood machine, and then come out psychos, and people are like, we don't want you anymore or whatever. Like the girl who's in like Kick-Ass and stuff, and like
Chloe
Lindsay,
something or
Chloe Grace Moretz, I believe, whatever. Like started out like super charming and everything, and then like her ego kind of took over, and then now she's just like, man, like who cares? Or the girl who was in like she's the man.
Amanda Bynes.
Amanda Bynes is insane now, and like Lindsay Lohan's insane now. So it's very rare.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It's very rare that these. I mean, like we're lucky that like Zac Efron is still kind of normal, like because like the whole High School Musical thing and everything, and like now he's just like a dude on roids, like
that's true. He's huge,
crazy jacked in Baywatch. It's insane. So back to weird tangent. You have to find an actor who can kind of portray madness a little bit, and they cast Oscar Isaac, which I like and I don't like.
Out of curiosity, real quick, did you see who they were, like, who was on the list?
No.
Okay, weird choice. Oh, one's really weird. One is Nick Kroll.
Wow.
He was like, people like literally like
What?
the news broke that Nick Kroll was up for Moon Knight, and I think Disney had to be like, oh shit.
There's no
and then
way.
like I'm serious, like an hour later, Oscar Isaac got the role.
No fucking
I'm
way.
serious. It was like people were like flipping out, like there's no way they want Nick Kroll to be Moon Knight.
Okay, so the character I think is also
He's
Jewish.
Yes.
So maybe they were trying to get the picture as they're like Nick Kroll is Jewish. Look at him. That guy is Jewish, you know. And so I saw this article that was like Oscar Isaac's not a good choice, and it had like these like reasonings, and they're the worst reasons I've ever seen. It was on Screen Rant, which has some of the worst writers ever. The first one is he's too big, which is
actually he's kind of small. I thought
the fact that your wife doesn't know who he is and he was just in 3 Star Wars films lets me know that he's not too big actually. But even on that point, so Robert Downey Jr. wasn't big, or Edward Norton.
I mean, Chris
also
Evans.
wasn't big. Well, no, I mean, like Chris Hemsworth and Evans hadn't really exploded yet. I mean, both those roles made them who they are. But like if Ryan Reynolds played, Green Lantern and like all these other people, whatever. I mean, there's a whole. There's a lot of actors.
I think what they're scared is they don't want someone too big who like they look at TV as beneath them. So they don't want them to like, hey, we're going to do TV. No, and then they do one season. They're like, okay, I'm done.
Their point was that they're too big for the role. And so Oscar Isaac on screen won't be Moon Knight to you. He'll just be Oscar Isaac. But it's like I don't.
I think whoever wrote that article is not seeing a lot of Oscar Isaac.
I agree. I can't talk. One of his first films was Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah,
and he is awesome.
Oh, he's great.
He's very good in that. It's a very small budget, like science fiction. Not say like horror movie, but like it kind of gets very like thriller-esque.
Yes.
And if you haven't seen that, it's awesome. I think it's on like HBO Max right now, but. It's a very small.
Might be on Netflix now.
Maybe, yeah. It's a very small production. He plays this tech genius who's very, very self-driven. He's very like egotistical, but he's also not very socially aware either. And so he's kind of like holed himself up in this house in the mountains with his like AI machines, and he's like having sex with them and stuff. Whatever, it's very fucking creepy.
That's what you do, though.
Obviously, I don't have any friends. I'll just make some friends. So that role lets me know
he can do it.
He can do it. It's nothing like Poe Dameron, which I also like. He's a very charming guy. Yeah. So. I'm okay with it. I still would have rather have had fucking Rami Malek.
Just don't pull an Apocalypse on us, because he was. I don't even think he was got that whole script. Everything about that movie was just god awful.
Luckily, he's in makeup, and so like you
can't even tell it's Oscar Isaac.
Like I love the idea that a person might watch Moon Knight and be like, oh my god, it's Apocalypse. like they're like a huge Apocalypse fans or something. So I'm okay with this casting. Is there any other character from Marvel that you would like to see get a show or maybe like a movie?
That's tough. I want them to redo X-Men, of course, and all that.
Which I think is on their docket. Like
I'd like to see a new, of course, Fantastic Four and all. All the classic characters, obscure characters.
No, not like obscure, but like just a person that like the fact that Moon Knight is going to get a show lets me know that they're actually searching for actual like good comics here and there.
Yeah.
So it's not just going to be like Hulk anymore and Iron Man and Captain America, that they're actually going to take like fan favorites and things like that.
I'd like to see a villain maybe, like kind of do another like, not like Venom or anything like that, but like I don't know. Like I like maybe an origin story of like just Galactus or something, like go crazy with it. Like see him do the Heralds and actually Silver Surfer would be the one I would want.
Yeah, that's good.
But like see his
fan of him.
I love Silver Surfer.
Yeah, so like it's so random because like he's not very big in the stories, whatever. I mean, he's a cosmic level powerhouse, but like he never really plays a huge part.
He was, in the comics of Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet, whatever, he was pretty big.
No. So in the like major runs, he does, but he never like just like flies down like and like helps out with the X-Men or the Avengers or anything. So he's always in space doing like his own random things versus like Fire-Lord and shit like that and stuff. So and he never feels to me part of the actual Marvel universe because he's so on the like fringes of it.
Yeah, he's in space all the time.
Exactly, but even like Guardians of the Galaxy somehow still feels feels Marvel relevant because their group kind of changes out. Like here recently, they got like Agent Venom joined them and the Thing joined them and stuff, whatever. So it was fun to see like Ben Grimm in space doing things. But Silver Surfer's just always all fucking fighting like
he fights Thanos a lot and stuff.
Plant Man and shit and stuff.
There's a great run where it shows it's like in the future and Thanos has like destroyed everything and he's got like the Hulk as a pet.
Okay.
And they have like the Black Surfer.
Okay.
And like he's like cosmic and he comes to try to defeat Thanos and Thanos is like goes in the future to see himself like become the ruler of everything and it's actually pretty cool to check out. Like Ghost Rider is actually Punisher. Like the Punisher, Frank Castle becomes Ghost Rider and he's called Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
He's kind of just lost it and stuff. I mean, it's a cool comic.
Here recently, we're on like a weird cosmic tangent here. The Phoenix Force actually went into like T'Challa here recently, and so he's the like new entity like for the Phoenix Force because like a year or so ago they had a whole run where Phoenix chose like 4 or 5 mutants. It was like the White Queen, Cyclops, Namor, and then somebody else. I can't remember who it was. I think like Magic as well. Mm-hmm. And so, and it was almost like a Highlander effect where they could like take each other out, like, and then take their like Phoenix Force and stuff or whatever. But so I like that it's not just Jean Grey because a lot of people think that Jean Grey is Phoenix, but that's not what it is at all. The Phoenix Force originally picked her because her psychic abilities are so powerful that like it actually like impressed her. At a young age, I think like when her powers first manifest, her friend gets hit by a car and is about to die, and she uses her mind powers to like keep her friend alive for a little bit of time, and so that was so impressive to the Phoenix Force for this child to like hold off death that like actually came after her like and like chose her specifically and stuff, which is kind of neat.
One more thing about the Moon Knight, I want to say there was another actor also.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was David Diggs.
Yeah, I've heard that also. Well, what else is he in?
He's in Hamilton. He plays Thomas Jefferson. He's in Snowpiercer. I actually thought that could have been interesting. I thought I hadn't seen a whole bunch. I mean, I've seen him sing and stuff. I mean, he's great in Hamilton and won a bunch of awards for it. But I mean, I would like to see him do some more stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if I could pick like a new project, I might pick the like New Warriors. I've always been like a big fan of like teenage heroes.
I like Night Thrasher.
Yeah, he's always really cool because like he's like a low tech hero, but he's like really violent and stuff. So he came out in like the '90s and he had like a skateboard and stuff or whatever.
That was cool.
And so like he was created specifically to like get like teenagers back in because like he's kind of like Iron Man, but has like kung fu martial arts and stuff and a skateboard. But like him, like Speedball, I just like both of them. Whatever, I thought that they were like really cool. So I mean, maybe because the like Runaways was kind of like a hit for Hulu, maybe like Disney Plus could make a whole new like team of like heroes and stuff. I don't know. But,
that'd be okay.
So
I want to see Squirrel Girl.
I don't know a lot about her. I've always laughed at her, but in the last like 5 years, her character's like really taken this like huge like jump in like power scale. So maybe she's not a huge joke anymore, whatever. But yeah. Speaking of streaming shows, David Fincher has a new movie coming out called Mank, I believe. Yeah. A lot of traditional directors are really excited about this. To me, it looks like a really classically made film. It
doesn't even look like his style though.
It doesn't. Yeah,
it really didn't. Like there's almost a little bit like a comedy to it.
Yes,
that you don't usually see in a David Fincher film.
It's almost like I don't say like. Maybe like a Coen Brothers movie almost?
Kind of, a little bit.
Yeah, so it's a little different. But what's more interesting is the fact that it's going straight to Netflix. And that this, and then coupled with the fact that Miramax, I believe, tried to shop around James Bond for a lot of money. But originally they were trying to just like unload it because they probably think that there's more money in that than actually putting it out in theaters.
Well, they have no clue when.
Exactly.
It's like you spend $400 million or $200 million to make this movie and promote it, and then all of it gets canceled. You don't know when it's going to come out. You need to make that money back. You have investors and stuff like that. So I mean, I think they looked into it.
It's like that. Plus, I mean, like even like here like in the States, sports teams can't have fans, and so like this article I read talked about the NBA's already down like $1 billion or whatever, and that if they start up and fans can't be there, they're looking at like 40% losses. So it could ruin the entire league if people can't get back in. So I mean, it's weird that this like perfect storm of streaming options came along at the same time as COVID, that like maybe theaters might legit start like fucking closing up, and it might become like a very niche thing. Do you like the idea of being able to just watch movies at home? I mean,
no, I don't because either. I don't think it'll like. I think in the long run, they won't be able to make like big budget movies because it won't be as profitable.
Well, I mean, like
it's too risky to go. Hey, we're going to put $200 million into this movie, and then like. Yeah, no one buys it.
No, I agree. Especially with like Netflix, like they made Extraction, which I think was like $150 million at the time, was their biggest movie. They're now doing the like Gray Man, which is their like, next biggest budget, and then like Old Guard also came out, and it's like I don't know how they make their money back, because they make their money off of people subscribing, right, and like having like accounts or whatever, but. If your account basis, let's say, is like 100, like like I think it's like 180 million people, whatever, own it. I mean, like, unless more people specifically buy it to watch those movies, it's like I just don't see.
I think they want to get people, and then when they die, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna take from that bank account forever."
It's like debt, whatever. It's like your dad's Netflix account actually passes down to you, sir. That's now $19.99.
And I'm sure they're gonna raise prices. They do that like every 2 years, pretty much anyway.
Well, I mean, like, it's just that there's been success here and there. Like Trolls World Tour, it did okay. A horror movie like just came out, Come and Play, I believe, and that's made okay money and stuff. And then like I
don't know how Bill and Ted did though. I know they did both though.
It did. And like Mulan, I didn't see its numbers. I know that it didn't do as much as Borat did. Apparently, like Borat crushed it. But to me, it's like. One of them came. Okay, so in terms of crushing it, I mean, like it had like 3 times more views, but it's because Mulan cost $30 to watch. While Amazon Prime just like handed it to you, like here you go. Like
so. I have a question. Like, do you think it would be there's more money if let's say it went like straight to DVD, no streaming, but you could go to the store and for $20 buy the movie?
Had like a Redbox or something.
No, like, I don't know. Redbox would probably get it too. But like the idea is like, if a movie came out and it went on a streaming service,
okay,
you just go like James Bond comes out for $20. You can go to Best Buy, pick it up, and now you own the movie. Do you think like so many people do it? Or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, I know that like a lot of people like the idea of being at home because it's a hassle to go out in the theaters, especially like if you have kids. Make sure like all the kids have clothes on and stuff, and then having snacks and stuff.
And you go to dinner before,
and then it's like $10 a person, or whatever, and then it's snacks. It's a huge thing. So as opposed to like spending like $100 at the theater, you spend like $20 at home or something. I mean, I love going to the movies.
Yeah,
I love the idea of being in a crowd and like sharing that together. It's a lot of fun. To me, like movies are the most accessible art form, and it's great to go see them with people, and then everybody gets like a different feel in terms of like what it's about. So, I mean, like Quentin Tarantino is one of the last like real directors I think around now. I mean, like and that's what like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The fact that he'll shoot on film still, and then like he there's a theater like in California that when he did The Hateful Eight, he did it specifically so that he could show it at this theater, but there was like a Marvel movie out or something, and so they got pushed around by Disney, and so it was this huge fiasco. Like in Quentin Tarantino, it's bullshit. I was supposed to be able to like play it here, and like for what Disney bought up all the fucking theaters. It was fucking crazy. But yeah, so I hope this doesn't happen. I hope that they can last long enough. I know that they're fucking dying.
I mean, I think what could happen is some of them will close, but I think if everything ever does get back to normal stuff, people will invest and reopen them because there is a need for it.
Did you notice that the theater near us was playing classic movies?
I knew they had Empire a couple
I drove by Halloween night or before. They had the original Halloween, they had the original Terminator, and I think the like original like Alien as well.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I wish I'd known, and like I would have like gone out, but like at that point it was already like too late. But like I'd love to have gone and seen like any of those like on the screen. I haven't seen them like on the like big screen and stuff. So but I think it's cool that they're trying to like bring back people and stuff, whatever.
I mean, they definitely should. I'd like to see just old classic movies, even though I already saw them, but like Jurassic Park or something like that, just on the big screen.
Yeah. Don't watch that at the like drive-in. It was cool. Speaking of other streaming services, Disney Plus just announced all of their stuff coming out in November. The only things here that I really thought were interesting was the second season of The Mandalorian. Which
is already out.
Which is the like first episode's out.
First episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that Disney is doing it 1 week at a time, and that they actually set up that precedent at the very beginning. So like folks aren't mad about it not being all like a bingeable and stuff. But folks, side note to that, we're thinking about maybe having one episode dedicated to just breaking down season 2 of The Mandalorian, and maybe as a show overall in Star Wars. If you guys are interested in that, comment, let us know if that's something that you would be into.
This is the way. I can't do Nick Nolte at all.
Megatron. Optimus Prime. Can we trust him? Besides that, Marvel 616 is coming out, which is a documentary style show about Marvel characters. So it's going to be like anthology series and a bunch of obscure characters and the writers and the inkers and the artists and stuff in terms of the history of the character and how it like broke ground and things, whatever.
So it's just a whole bunch of like Jack Kirby and Stan Lee.
I hope
every episode is Stan Lee.
I hope it's actually good and it's not pandering bullshit where it's all about like oh, and then in 2015 Ms. Marvel was created, and then it's just 4 episodes about that or something. I mean, like give us actual. I'd
like
history.
it to be like you see like Stan Lee like play golf, like it tells the story of him playing golf and like with the guys who work at DC, and they talk about how they're doing the Justice League, and he's like, I'm copying the idea. and then he came up with his own thing. Like, that would be cool.
Have you ever seen, they had this documentary on AMC, this was like a few years ago. It was done by the guy that did the Walking Dead comic book. What the hell's his name?
I have no clue.
Oh, man, he did that, like Invincible. He did like Battle Pope. Oh man, what is his name? Rick something.
Rick James.
No, I don't have my phone on me. So anyways, he did this comic book show where it was like 8 episodes long, and it's the entire history of like comics in terms of what's like important. So it started out with the creation of like Superman, and then Wonder Woman, Batman, and then there's an episode of everything that was done by like Stan Lee in terms of like Marvel and stuff, whatever. But like one of the later episodes is about like Image Comics. And it's hysterical because in the 90s, people, a lot of the best artists worked at Marvel originally. And then like Jim Lee worked at like DC or whatever at the time. They all decided that since their art was so awesome, they were going to create like their own thing.
They didn't have any royalties to any of the characters.
Exactly.
And stuff like
and
that.
So they created like a whole bunch of like brand new characters like Spawn and like
there's Max.
The like Youngbloods, like Savage Dragon.
Yeah.
Bloodshot, and so Image was like this new like really cool thing where it had all the fucking badass artists. So like all the artwork was great, but none of them could write worth a shit. So there's this really great moment of Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane, and they're drawing this new character or whatever on screen, and they're being watched by like Stan Lee, and he's just fucking talking trash to them the entire time. Todd's like drawing all these like belt pouches, and the 90s belt pouches were fucking huge, and so he's drawing these things, and like Stan's like, oh, yeah, what's this guy's name? Overkill. Like he's just like, oh, I think it needs more fucking belt pouches there, Todd. Just like, I mean, just tearing him apart, and like both Rob and him are it's the idea of like when your grandma's like talking bad to you and you can't say anything back, so you're just like, okay, grandma, okay, yeah, I get it, I didn't go to college, okay, grandma. It's great, and so they actually left like like 6 months later after that or whatever and stuff. And Image kind of did well, and then what happened was every artist kind of split off into like their own thing. but they began to poach each other's talent in terms of like writers and stuff. And so then everybody started to like hate each other and then yell about comic sales. And then eventually Jim Lee left and went back to, I think he left and went to like Marvel, and then like another guy left, and then it was insane. But like, and now Image at one point was just like super 90s, big muscles and stuff, whatever, girls with like huge boobs. Now it's like a really cool like indie comic book, and so more like realistic approaches to comics are now like there and stuff, whatever.
I know, like they were real big in the '90s with like the forehead strap, like it was the face mask, but so like cool. Only your face was shown.
Shatterstar,
people like that had it.
Strife, it's great.
Everyone in the Youngbloods had it.
I don't know. or how we got on this conversation. So besides Marvel 616, wow, Jesus, going back, there was no WandaVision on the list, and so folks are like, is there
a release date for that yet?
No.
So all they said was, I think it was 2020.
Yes.
So maybe they're waiting for December.
Yeah. So I mean, like folks are holding on because originally I think Falcon and the
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier were supposed to have also been out this year, but they got pushed back a little bit ago. And so WandaVision has always been on track to at least be this year. And now folks are like, well, it's not November. It wasn't in October. Hopefully it's December.
I mean, it's weird because like they're like Moon Knight's going to come out, but I'm like, okay, WandaVision hadn't come out. Like you came out like we're going to do about 5 or 6 shows. None of them come out, and you're like talking about making more shows. Just get one show out, man. Like let's see one.
It's DC and for Universal, we're like, we're gonna do a mummy movie, and then we're gonna do like a werewolf movie, and then this, and then this, and then that one fails. We're like, we're done. We're not doing any of them. Fucking Tom Cruise ruined everything. Wow, we're just all over the place here. All right, guys. That's I think. There's one more news thing. Okay. It was announced that Marvel is going to bring back Iron Fist. So, which I'm totally okay with.
Are they bringing back the same actor?
No,
I don't. Or they're about the same writers. Should they get rid of those?
Yeah, so they're entirely redoing everything. Thank God. Iron Fist is also, I would say, like Moon Knight, Iron Fist, Captain America, Daredevil. Like Rorschach are all my favorite guys.
So you like those like grounded heroes?
I do.
I'm big on the
I know
Silver Surfer, Thor. Like, give me the strongest, the best you got. Like,
see, I get that, but the problem with characters like that is that it has to escalate. So
it does, but the problem with your characters is they should be dead and they're not. Okay.
See, right here is where
should be dead. Okay.
I would put in like a really cool boys joke, but you haven't watched it. But there's an entire joke against Daredevil, and it's freaking hysterical, and you'd be laughing your ass off right now. So at some point you'll have to watch that because it entirely plays into the fact that he's fucking useless or whatever. It's great. To me, I love the idea of people that have kind of abilities or combat training or stuff, and they have to still do what's right, even though it's harder. I mean, it's easy for like a Superman to go and stop bank robbers, because like he's fucking bulletproof. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But it's hard for a guy like Hawkeye, because he's just a guy. It's also a great Hawkeye joke in Boys as well. God, it sucks, man.
I want to watch it.
I can't joke with you about it.
I told her. I was
this is it. Okay,
December 1st. If you have not, I'm watching it right now.
This is strike one. This is it. So I'm excited. Hopefully that they get an actual actor with martial arts background, and put some pretty good writers on it. And then I would
get a villain. Don't do the Hand. I mean, we've just seen the Hand.
So have you read?
I want to see someone cool.
The Daredevil run with. It's not Joe Quesada. Oh man.
The last one I saw, read anything with Daredevil. I recently read like Wolverine, kind of loses his memory and stuff, and kills Daredevil, and it was all made up, whatever.
I hate it because I haven't read it in so long.
It's Wolverine kills everybody.
No,
or something
it's the same guy who did Marvel Civil War and House of M. He was a big proponent in the mid 2000s of kind of bringing back Marvel. He helped do the whole New Avengers thing where he brought in Spider-Man and then Luke Cage and all those guys, and then Wolverine joined or whatever. I can't think of his freaking name. It's really going to annoy me. But he had a really good run on Daredevil, and he actually has it where Matt Murdock gets tired of the hand and just goes and fucking like takes over. and so he becomes the new like kingpin of like Hell's Kitchen, and it's fucking great, man. Like there's this whole scene of him out like eating dinner, and the hand come to the Hell's Kitchen, and he fights like 40 ninjas at once. It's amazing. It's great. It's drawn super well. Love it.
Is it one of these guys?
No. It's super annoying. Keep talking while
No, I was never a big Daredevil fan, though. I like the idea of Iron Fist, though. I just want a new villain. I don't know a whole bunch of Iron Fist villains, but like have someone that has some powers and not, I don't know. I mean, don't do Elektra. I'm tired of her. They need to bring in someone new.
Joe Quesada.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was.
And then, I don't know if I want them to do Defenders again, like bring them together. I mean,
Well, you can't call them the Defenders. So,
I know, that's
so
why I
now that's
hated
back
that too.
there. They were the
Defenders is Doctor Strange, Hulk, Silver Surfer was in it, Namor.
Ghost Rider. Yeah, they were heroes for hire. So I mean, like if they do it right.
They can do that. Yeah, heroes for hire.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And like try to get Tom Holland to come in as a guest star to bring some fans or something.
All right, guys, we've talked so much about comics for no reason. Let's get into the man, the myth, the legend, Sean Connery.
Negative $69. Okay, that wasn't your score.
Well, 69 is how I scored with your mother last night.
A great appearance by Sean Connery on Jeopardy. So let's talk a little bit about him. His box office films grossed over $3 billion. I think it's like 3.6 or something in that range. He's had like 90 projects.
It's funny if he would have done Lord of the Rings, it would be $6
billion. He's also knighted. It's kind of a big thing. He was a war veteran as well. He was born in 1930 in Edinburgh, Scotland. I think he was like a milkman as well or something.
He was a milk guy. He polished
coffins. Yeah, I mean, like super interesting in life or whatever.
Started smoking at age 9. That's awesome.
I lived the whole time. So we thought it'd be fun to give you our list of our favorite Sean Connery films and also some manly trivia about him. Do you want to do the trivia first? Or the movies.
Is it manly trivia? Mine is not manly trivia.
Mine is manly.
Mine is movie trivia.
Mine is super manly.
But some of it's pretty interesting.
All right, let's do trivia first.
Okay.
So people like Sean Connery is a legend in the fact that he's known for these like really like absurd stories about things. So I thought it'd be fun to find actual factual trivia, but then kind of hide it with two other similar things to try and throw off Chase here. So he has trivia facts, and then I do too, and we're going to try and guess those back and forth here. My first bit here. His real name isn't Sean. Is it Christopher, Thomas, or Duncan?
Ooh.
What is my real name? Oh, Chase.
Thomas or I want to go Duncan.
It is Thomas, actually.
Oh.
His friends used to call him Tommy, actually. I don't know why he calls himself Sean, but he's Thomas Connery.
I heard he's a big Puff Daddy fan, so that's good.
That's all right.
Okay.
Cashmere's amazing.
As you know, Sean Connery was James Bond. Which famous Bond line did he ad-lib? Martini, shaken, not stirred.
That was going to be my guess. What do you go to?
Bond, James Bond.
James Bond.
Or I must be dreaming. You're a woman of many parts. Pussy. That's when he first meets Pussy Galore.
No, he was just talking to just random people in the streets.
He's talking to Q.
I think it's the shake and not stir thing.
It is actually Bond. James
Really?
Bond.
No shit. Okay.
The line in the thing was,
Hi.
I'm James Bond. Hi, I'm James Bond.
Hi, my name's James.
It's
like,
but he thought it sounded
pussies.
stupid and stuff, so he was like, Bond.
You know what would sound
James Bond.
It would sound manly. It's my name twice. I'm as hard as a rock. My second bit of trivia. He's very manly. Was he at what point was he a male model? Did he once drink another man to death, or did he place third in a Mr. Universe contest?
I'm going to go with male model.
No, he actually placed third in a Mr. Universe contest.
I knew he was a bodybuilder, but...
Yeah, in 56 or 53 or so. But people aren't sure if he was in the junior division because of his height. And so, but yeah, he placed. So at some point,
That's impressive.
He's really impressive. He's
a pretty tall guy.
Is he really?
I think he was like 6'4" or something like that.
I'm 6'5".
Sean Connery has said his favorite role is James Bond from Russia with Love, Daniel Drabant for The Man Who Would Be King, or John Patrick Mason from The Rock.
I know that his favorite, I think, Bond movie was From Russia with Love. I don't know if it's Bond though. Let's go with The Rock. It just sounds
It's not The Rock. It's actually Daniel Drabant from The Man Who Would Be King. I looked up. I hadn't seen that movie, but it sounds really interesting. I think it's him and Michael Caine or something like that. And they're like in a country and they're like tricking everybody that he's actually like a god, that Sean Connery's a god and stuff. So they're like I don't know, playing around, but it looks really kind of interesting. People say it's a great movie. I'm gonna check it out actually.
Another little small bit of fact there. He met Michael Caine at a party, and they became fast friends, and they were friends until the day he died.
Yeah.
Michael Caine is also super old.
Yes.
I think he's also knighted, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's Sir Michael Caine.
I love the idea that they knight people still, and that I would love for them to like call forth all the knights, and they have to like defend the queen. It's just like a bunch of just old. It's like Elton John and fucking Michael Caine. Be great.
That would be good.
My next piece. After he served in the military, he worked as a nude model, he worked as a local tough for a gang, or he worked as a bridge builder.
I'm going to say nude model.
He was a nude model.
He was a nude model.
After serving, he was discharged because of issues with his stomach. He went back to Edinburgh, and then he for the like, local college posed for their nude art classes and stuff, whatever. But since he placed third in the Mr. Universe, I'm sure he could get a fucking banging body.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, get my abs. I had a six pack. I'll give you a good slapping.
Like I said earlier, Sean Connery is known for turning down Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. Which other movie did he turn down?
Okay, so I might have one kind of like this also.
Okay. Is it John Hammond in Jurassic Park, Mufasa in The Lion King, or Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs?
Okay. So I have The Matrix on mine, but okay. Those are all really good. I don't think it would be Anthony Hopkins' role in Hannibal. That seems like right up his alley. And then you said it was Lion King and...
Mufasa in Lion King and John Hammond in Jurassic Park.
How about John Hammond?
You are kind of correct. And the reason why I would say that, he actually turned down all those roles.
Oh, aren't we a tricksy
Yeah, I was a little trickster.
Oh, I'm gonna give you a pop in the mouth
But I
for
just
that
thought
one.
that was just so interesting. I mean, like,
Stop tickling my balls, chicks.
I thought it was very interesting. 3 very high profile, parts and stuff, and he turned them down.
Dude, he turned out a lot of movies.
He did.
But what's funny is that's why he accepted the role of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, is because he turned down like all these like really good roles, and his reason was always like, I don't understand the script. What is this wizard shit? So when it came to that, he was like, fuck it, I'll do it. And then it was a huge bomb, and then he was like, I'm out.
I'm done.
Fucking quit.
Which I don't think he could do any of those. I mean, he might. I think he could do
John
Mufasa.
Hammond.
I think he could do Mufasa.
I mean, like
Oh, no, I can't see him doing John Hammond.
I don't know. I mean, like,
or interesting thing, the John Hammond thing. Steven Spielberg wanted him to be John Hammond and wanted Harrison Ford to play Grant.
That's funny.
And they were going to reunite the Last Crusade and stuff like that.
I couldn't see that. I couldn't. I don't like that. I mean, like,
I think the movie's perfect the way it is.
I agree. I think Sean Connery might be too, I would say, like, attractive.
I just don't see Jeff Goldblum like talking shit to Sean Connery. He's like,
before you knew what you had, you fucking packaged it and put it on boxes and you just sold it.
Yeah, I can't see him playing.
My next bit, Sean Connery's had a run-in with cash members. Has he had his wrist broken by Steven Seagal? Has he slapped the actress who played Pussy Galore, Honor Blackman? Or has he tried to get Catherine Zeta-Jones fired for being too fat?
Ooh.
Yes.
That is tough.
They're all true.
They're all true. I'm going to go Catherine Zeta-Jones.
No, it's actually Steven Seagal.
Oh, really?
Steven Seagal in 1984 was training him on his last Bond movie, and he fucking broke his wrist trying to teach him his fake martial arts. His fucking.
The funny thing is,
Casey Ryback, man.
I think he liked Steven Seagal though, and he took his haircut and used it in Medicine Man and stuff because he does the little ponytail. I think he enjoyed that.
I want that to be true. I just love the idea of Steven Seagal teaching fucking Sean Connery, who's just alpha male, weird handholds and stuff or whatever. It's so ridiculous. My last bit, I kind of foreshadowed a little
Bonus
bit.
question.
He was offered a role in The Matrix. Was he offered to play the Architect, Morpheus, or Locke?
I know the answer to this, but for a while I actually thought I heard that it was Morpheus.
I did too, actually. Yeah,
but now what I've been reading stuff, it is the Architect.
Yeah, it's the Architect.
Which I feel like they was well, we couldn't get Sean Connery. Who's the next closest guy that looks like Sean Connery? This guy.
With his pen.
Yeah,
it's inevitable. So
vis-a-vis.
If you go through door left, you can save your loved one.
I do like that scene though.
Do you?
Yeah, I think
it's a really weird movie. It's nowhere near as good.
It's got one of the best action scenes though ever in the movie.
Oh, the
freeway scene. I love it so much.
It's only because a lot of it was done practically as well.
Yeah,
it's cool.
And it's got that techno music going.
We are getting annoyed. All right, so guys, after trivia, let's get into our personal favorite movies, top 5, because it was weird. A lot of the ones that I've seen are not good, and I didn't want to put those.
Honest,
I didn't want to do a top 10 because I would have First Night on my list. So I was that's not
okay.
good.
So we shouldn't have First Night on the list. Actually, I have not seen many Sean Connery films. I've never seen I'm not a James Bond fan. I don't like Daniel Craig. I didn't see any with Pierce Brosnan. Never seen any.
I think I'm the only person that prefers Pierce Brosnan over any other Bond. I'm getting shunned right now. Shun the non-believer.
I like Roger Moore. I grew up with Roger Moore. That's the only one I've seen the most of. But my dad was a huge Bond fan. Read the books.
Yeah.
Loved Sean Connery. Loved it.
Yeah. My wife's dad is also this huge fan. I was over there last year during the holidays, and they had a marathon on, and we watched one or two of them. And he talked about a lot of the history and stuff. So it was he's a big Bond person.
So
it honestly might just be an old school thing.
I think if you're over 60, you love Bond.
if you're over 80, I think maybe it's this classical hero type of sense of this really dashing agent. In a tux, he's very suave and he can fight and all the girls want have sex with him, whatever. Dude, I was reading so many of the Bond plot breakdowns, and they're all hysterical. It's the one for GoldenEye or whatever, because I haven't seen it in a long time, so it's I reread it to just refresh myself, and it was Pussy Galore tries to fight back his charm, but can she? It's so ridiculous. What is your number 5?
Okay, my number 5 is actually The League. I've only seen 6.
The League of Extraordinary, the one that retired him. You're damn, that was good.
I'm not saying it's good, but I've only seen 6. Okay,
and that one made it.
That one made it.
What was the 6th one?
Medicine Man. I did not like Medicine Man.
It's better than League.
No, it's not. But I'm a comic book guy. I like League. I don't really like it, but I saw it a number of times. I think I own it on DVD.
A number of times?
I own it on DVD.
You own everything on DVD. It's weird, man.
I know. But I like the idea of it. It's based off a comic, but I like the idea of the Invisible Man and own stuff.
Well, no, the comic book's good.
Yeah.
It's written by Alan Moore.
So
it's another run of his comics that were bastardized on screen.
Yeah.
And Alan Moore just slowly hates everybody because of it.
But he's cashing those checks.
That, Watchmen, V for Vendetta, Swamp Thing.
V for Vendetta is great.
It's solid. It sounds good.
What's Swamp Thing? The 80s one?
He was the one that made Swamp Thing great. So I don't know exactly which.
Was it Return of the Swamp Thing with Heather Locklear?
I hope so. My number 5 is not a complete piece of garbage that was
my next one's another piece of garbage.
absolutely put on his list. Fucking League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I have Goldfinger from 1964. This one's really great. It gave us Oddjob, who has been,
he's great in a video game.
Replicated, and his hat. He has such this really cool weapon. It's got like a little. It's got like a metal ring around it. And it chops people's heads off and stuff. It's amazing. They tried to replicate that on like MythBusters, and it just is not possible. So they actually made so they started off with the hat. With like a blade around it and tried tossing it into things, but like nobody had the strength. So they're okay. Well, maybe Oddjob's like a really awesome assassin, and so his tossing power is like almost like supernatural. So they actually built a machine that could toss it. It still didn't work. It also has, I think, one of the funniest Bond girl names, Pussy Galore.
I was like, I always think about when like they have a name like that, and it's like I want to hear the pitch. Like tell the studios like, okay, so then the love interest comes in. What's her name? Pussy Galore. And like the guys are like, that's great. That's just do it.
Classic.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying pussy.
Yeah.
Or like in Austin Powers making fun of her name's like a lot of vagina or something. It's amazing.
A lot of vagina.
Yeah. So, and it's such an absurd plot. So the main guy Goldfinger is trying to steal the gold so he can like he irritates it. So it's not like a usable gold currency. That way, all of his gold goes up in value, so that like he can like have like more money or something. It's so ridiculous. And Pussy Galore comes in as like Goldfinger's pilot, and Bond somehow fucking like seduces her or whatever, and of course and then she like turns over on him and everything. It's so ridiculous. If you had to guess its Rotten Tomato score, what do you think it is?
I don't know, like 45.
You think it's 45?
I have no clue.
Just because League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is 45 doesn't mean all of his movies are 45.
68.
Keep going, man.
Higher or lower?
Higher.
82.
Higher.
90.
Higher.
93.
Higher.
97.
Higher.
99.
99. It's a fucking 99. It's a 99. This is the problem here, man, is that people like, I think maybe have like crazy fucking nostalgia factor. There's no way this movie's a 99. There's just no way, man. It's insane. It's absolute. But to be fair, that like, Palm Springs movie had like a 98 at one point until people actually came to their senses.
Was great in it.
Andy Samberg. What's your number? Your 4?
My 4 is actually, you're going to hate this one too. Dragonheart. I saw this in theaters, and I remember, like, I haven't seen it in years now, but like, it had the same special effects as like Jurassic Park, but they're like,
no, you shut your mouth.
No, it did.
It did not have the same effects.
It had the same effects.
Dragonheart's effects are awful. In fact,
they're not awful.
They're awful. They're so cartoony. If I can, I'll put them side by side here. For people who watch on YouTube, see the terrible Dragonheart effects, which I mean, maybe at the time weren't that bad.
That's what I'm saying.
They are.
I'm sure
they're almost as bad as Mortal Kombat 2.
No,
it's close.
No. But like, I don't know.
Fatality.
But like, it was cool because they were like, hey, instead of dinosaurs, we'll do dragons, and you get to see them fly and stuff. And he's got Sean Connery's voice, who should have done a whole bunch of voice acting.
I'm a dragon.
Yeah. Oh. Don't take my heart.
I have a dragon heart.
And it has what's his name?
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid in it, and then a little bratty kid, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was, at the time, it was 1996.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I was like really into like D&D at the time.
Yeah.
And so like this and like First Night were both like really close. And like I was like, these movies are amazing. Like I thought Richard Gere was so cool. His like sword fighting technique is just like him like doing this the whole time. Like, whoa, he's so fat. It's with his stupid fucking hair. And then it has that awful fucking Michael Bolton song in it or whatever. Oh,
there is no awful Michael Bolton song.
And Sean Connery sits half the movie in First Night. And literally his only action is to go like, we're gonna fight, and he raises his sword and he gets shot with all these fucking crossbows or whatever. It's awful, and also great. It's so 90s. It's amazing.
What is your 4th movie?
Mine is a classic.
A classic.
Also has swords in it. The Highlander from 1986, starring Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery. If you haven't seen this movie, which I'm sure like our 12 fans who are listening to this probably have seen Highlander.
It doesn't make sense. It really does.
I love it so much. It's so 80s. It's so asinine.
It is so 80s.
I loved I don't know why, but I love tournaments, and this is like a world tournament. This is like best of the best of the best, you know. So the idea for people who don't know is that people get this thing called the like quickening, and it allows them to live for forever. But if you kill somebody else that also has this ability, your power increases. So people go around and they chop each other's heads off with swords, and the lightning goes into them. So Sean Connery is Christopher Lambert's teacher in the olden days and stuff in Scotland. Even though Christopher Lambert is not Scottish at all, he's got a really weird, profound like American English accent. And then it kind of goes into like modern times and stuff and everything, and it's just so ridiculous in all the good ways. Part 2 is terrible. But like,
what about part 3?
But the purpose though is the legend is if you kill everybody else and you're the last Highlander, there can be only one.
There can be only one.
Be only one now, Lambert. Then you get a wish, and that's the only way for you to actually wish to be like human again. So you can finally fucking die or whatever and everything. So, which is what he does at the end of the first one, and then they immediately like undo it, like oh well, we need a sequel because the first one made some money or whatever. I love it. It's great.
So bad.
How could you like Dragonheart and then shit on a Highlander?
Easy.
Oh my god, terrible.
No, Highlander's terrible.
What's your I watched Highlander. It was shit.
My third movie is The Hunt for Red October,
which is by before that, what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score was for Highlander?
probably 72.
69. 69, bro.
69 is what I did with your mom. Scored with your mama last night.
I should just play the clip. I should just play the clip. Yeah.
My number 3 is Hunt for Red October. I think it's a great movie. It's Jack Ryan, all doing like his thing. But it's just, I think Sean Connery's great in it, except for like he's playing Russian with a Scottish accent and stuff. I mean, but he did like the way the movie just plays out. It's very kind of intense. You don't know if he's defecting or not, and they do a really good job of that. And the movie's just solid all around.
Can you name all the people who have played Jack Ryan?
Let's see. There's Baldwin, Harrison Ford, Ben Affleck, Chris Pine.
I can't remember. He might be. There's also John Krasinski.
Oh, I'm doing movies.
Yeah,
TV doesn't count.
I mean,
sorry, John Krasinski doesn't count.
it might be Chris Pine.
I thought it was him, but I wasn't sure.
There's 5 of them. I know that. And John Krasinski is the fifth one. Yeah, it might be Chris Pine.
Yeah.
It's one of those guys that has like blonde hair or whatever. I'm not sure who it is.
It's one of those Chris guys.
Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt.
It's one of those guys.
My number 3 is Finding Forrester.
Ooh.
From 2000. It stars Sean Connery as a recluse, this hidden author that had a really great book, I think in like the 70s or something.
Yeah.
And it was so impressive that he kind of got like overshadowed by everybody wanting like a sequel to it. And so he just went like hiding because he didn't think he could ever redo that or whatever. He ends up finding this kid, which I can't really remember how they meet exactly. I know that he lives near him or something or whatever. And then he ends up going to this like brand new school and stuff and everything. And I forget how they meet, but the kid finds out that he's a writer and he goes to him for help for his assignments. And then like Forrester, who is Sean Connery, realizes that he's got like a really great eye and has like a really great talent. And so it's just a mixture of him trying to figure out how to get back into writing, but also using this kid as his like new muse and stuff, whatever. And it's a really good role for him.
It is good.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to probably have that on your list. That's why I don't mind.
Well, you should definitely have it over League or Dragonheart, man.
No.
There's no dragon in Forrester.
Dragon in Forrester. Nobody dies.
What do you think that
About Sean Connery goes between like Bane and Sean Connery goes back and forth.
Oh, I am the darkness.
It goes back and forth.
It's very close. I mean, his like mannerisms.
Yeah. My number 2 is.
What do you think the Rotten Tomato score is for Finding Forrester?
63.
It's a 74. What's your next one?
My number 2 is The Rock.
Okay.
It's probably Michael Bay's best movie.
Really? Think so?
I mean, it's like this.
Your wife
cheesy,
would be so mad at you
oh,
right
I know.
now.
She loves
Armageddon.
But this is like, it's cheesy, but it's, I don't know, it's just good. Like, I mean, it's one of Nicolas Cage's probably best films. As Stanley Goodspeed. It's like, Godspeed, you know the origin of your name. I don't know.
I love that you're doing that joke on back-to-back weeks.
I think it's so good. The movie, it's a lot of fun. The movie's just so much fun. Them going to Alcatraz, breaking into the prison.
Yeah.
Ed Harris is really good. And like, he's one of those villains where it's like, like we could have talked about where he was kind of right.
Is he though?
Like, I mean, his whole thing is like the government just treats these soldiers so poorly.
See, I totally am on board with that as like a motivation, but then it's always about money. It's always about them holding things hostage.
They were holding things hostage, which he was never going to. It was a bluff, pretty much. But he was going to get the money and then use that money not for themselves, but for the families of these dead soldiers.
You know, it's like it's also in the Channing Tatum movie with Jamie Foxx as well.
Something down, I don't know.
White House Down?
White House Down. I knew it was something down.
Something like that, where basically all these guys are also ex-soldiers, and they're all led by this because they were sent into like combat missions and stuff, and they blame the president. So I feel like that's like a reused plot.
Maybe the government's just not very good.
It just happens so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, like it's super 90s.
It's straight 90s, but it's a lot of fun stuff. It's fun. Yeah. Michael Bay, like, sometimes he tries to make fun movies that are just over the top, and a lot of them don't land. This one, I think, lands. This and like Bad Boys kind of land.
I think Bad Boys is his best movie.
To each their own.
No. I'm right. Rock is fucking very average.
I'm gonna say The Rock's better than Bad Boys.
Did you like The Rock or Executive Decision better?
I hate Executive. I hate Steven Seagal.
Oh, he's not even in it.
Yeah, he is.
In the first 5 minutes, and he dies, remember?
That's the only good part about the movie. No, I didn't really like Executive Decision.
That's like a Kurt Russell movie. I mean, like,
I know it's Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
But they built it as a Steven Seagal movie.
Obviously, in the trailer, it shows him and John Leguizamo.
Like, the movie starts, you're like, oh, I didn't know Kurt Russell was in this.
What a great movie for him. Yeah. Oh, fuck, Steven Seagal's dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's so ridiculous. Oh, my God. Steven Seagal, man. I mean, we have to do a whole episode on him. Like,
I hate him. Like, as a kid, like, I was big in Arnold, Sylvester, John Club, and people were like, well, next door neighbor just loves Steven Seagal, and I'm like, he just like he does that, but he looks like he's overweight.
He is overweight.
He's like, when he talks, like he just whispers. He's like, I will come and kill you.
Yeah, it's going there. Yeah. It's because he can't breathe.
I hate
he's so heavy.
I hate his ponytail.
Now, I will say that his character Casey Ryback is great. I think that's his only passable movie. That one, and he has one where he kills a bunch of like evil fucking Jamaicans. I forget which one that is. It's ridiculous. My number 2 is probably one of my favorite Bond movies, actually, because I have 2 Bond movies on here, and that is Dr. No. That was Sean Connery's, I believe, his first Bond film, and it also, I think, has one of like the sexiest Bond girls, and that was like Honey Rider. This is from 1962.
Honey Rider.
Yeah, and she's like a bombshell then, man. I mean, she's awesome. And this is just, it has like a lot of the, it begins a lot of the, well, I would say Goldfinger, excuse me, begin a lot of the common tropes now with Bond about like technology and stuff, and him, gambling and drinking and a lot of that stuff or whatever happened in that one. This one feels more like a normal kind of spy film and stuff and everything, and he still has sex with like a lot of women, and what's funny is that, like, I guess because I'm a dude, like, I don't see him being attractive like at all, but like,
I can see at the time and stuff.
Maybe I mean like he has a very like manliness about him, but he's so physical with these women. Like, it's just, hey there, honey, give me some of that love, and they fall in love with him so quick, and it seems so unreal to me to see like just old guy like there's a film with like Walter Matthau where he's like a bank robber or something, and his wife dies in the like very beginning. He's one of the ugliest men to ever walk the planet, and like this girl just like. Every girl in scenes with him just like find him attractive, like, oh my God, Walter Matthau, a little bit of that dick, It's like, it's so unreal, and it's just, even now when like there's films with like Jim Carrey in like Yes Man or whatever is like 40 something years old, and it's him and like Zooey Deschanel. At the time she was like 23 or 24 or whatever, and it's just like there's no way.
So what do you think about like Entrapment when Sean Connery was a good 70?
Unbelievable.
And Catherine Zeta-Jones is in her prime.
It's so ridiculous. And it's just the most Hollywood.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her moment. Just like, she's oh my God, it's my first bit movie. Like, and you're playing with Sean Connery. She's like, fuck. He's so old.
Like, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But the thing is, but that's her thing, though.
You're Latin minx.
She likes those old guys, though. She does like them. She does. Michael Douglas is no spring chicken.
Popsicles on Michael Douglas's penis for a long time. What is your what do you think the Rotten Tomato score is on this one?
I'm 80.
It's the first Bond.
First Bond.
Well, it's first Connery.
85.
95.
Oh.
95. It's up there, man. You gotta rock it, dude.
What's the worst Bond?
The worst Bond.
Rotten Tomatoes. You know?
I don't know. I know that Pierce Brosnan, the one with
Halle Berry, or
no,
the one with Christmas.
Yeah,
the one
Denise
with
Richards.
Yes.
That has one of the best Bond name jokes, though. So they
I know it's
they have sex at the end, and he rolls her over and goes, "That's crazy. I didn't know that Christmas came twice a year."
That's so good. I've never seen it, but I've heard about that.
What's annoying is that a person probably thought of that joke, and they're like, "Yo, we can name it Christmas," because there's a lot of good Christmas jokes, guys. You know, it's so.
I feel like there's actually someone named Christmas, and the writer used that line on her, and then he's like, "I'm putting this in a movie."
It's just so ridiculous. The idea to have Denise Richards as like a scientist is so fucking stupid.
Name Christmas.
Yeah. What's your number one?
My number one is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
That's also my number one.
It's a great film, and to me, like most people, like Raiders, it's their favorite. This is my favorite of the Indiana Jones.
I think I saw this one first. It came out in 1989. It has an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's so much fun.
It really is.
His character coming in added so much more to the story, and to me, like your sequel has to build on the one before it. And it needs to bring those characters into like something new in the story, and it really opens up more in the world. There has to be a reason to have more, and adding like a new character of his father, I think, added a lot more. And we immediately got to know more about Indiana Jones, and why he acts the way he does, and says and things, and the way Junior, let it go, Junior, and it just like. It's just great. It's so much fun. The at the very end, the scene of like Indy like on the stones and stuff. Yeah. And then he picks the cup. It chose poorly. It's great. And when they're tied to the chair and
what
like all that like and the fire starts going like and Chuck Connor's like. He's making everything worse.
He did great as like a comedic actor.
Man,
he was great.
He's great. Yeah, it was a new role for him from being this very macho guy to being still handsome because he also bangs the.
I love that part where he's like, "How do you know she was Russian or whatever?"
She's asleep.
And then he like has this look on his face like, he's like, "I banged her.
I hit it good, Indy."
But yeah, it's just so much fun. It's a great movie. Spielberg did a great job with it.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It sucks that the Crystal Skull was so bad, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's awful. But even what sucks more is that League was so terrible that he didn't come back to do part 4, man. Like I would love to have him in that.
I think he's been sick and stuff. I mean, he's in the Bahamas.
Now, but like the Crystal Skull came out in what, 2008? 2009, so he was only 80.
He was only 81. God.
79 at that point or something. Whatever. He was a young 79.
Though he's only like 12 years older than Harrison Ford.
Wow, crazy as shit.
Like he was playing his dad, but yeah, he's
a lot like Sam Elliott, where he just looked 107 his whole life or whatever. Sam Elliott, even in like The Mask, where he was like 35, I think, or something, looked 65.
He's one of those guys that like he went white hair like early
in high school. Yeah. Well, he hasn't spoken since he was 9.
Yeah,
he was. Like,
they actually said I think he like was losing his hair too, like super early. Like in Bond, he wore a wig and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely dyed.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's super. It's got that old guy black. Hair or whatever, where it's obviously like it's like a can or
it's
something.
got the can spray.
It's got like lines on his neck and shit. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Guys, we joke obviously,
Yes,
whatever.
yes.
Sean Connery was a legend in the field. It sucks to lose him. He was 90. He apparently was also battling dementia towards the end there. I don't think there's any other actors like him. I mean,
the dude he's been sexiest sexiest person alive by People magazine. He came in third, and I guess Miss Universe.
Yeah.
But he's one of the sexiest, most iconic voices ever. I mean,
yeah, I don't think we'll have other actors like him and Kirk Douglas and all those guys, whatever, and Kane. They were brought up in a different era of filmmaking, and we won't have those traditional manly men actors and stuff anymore, whatever. I mean, there's a lot of people who act like that. Like Sean Connery was that guy, he was hitting women and stuff.
Open hand.
I'm gonna give you a good slapping. Get over here. Sit on my penis.
Yeah, it's tragic.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's been a rough year. We just keep losing people, whatever. So hopefully nothing else crazy happens.
We got a month and a half or 2 months. We got 2 months pretty much.
Until it gets worse. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this week. As always, you can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, Twitter at Into Geek. We're having more stuff coming out this month. We're planning on doing D&D. That's going to be fun. We're going to do our session 0. So for everybody who is interested in getting into Dungeons and Dragons and want to learn how to play, we'll be doing that. And we actually have a player who is brand new as well, and so he'll be able to kind of be your guide into how to make a character, what goes into it, how the game works, or whatever. We're also going to be doing a friend of mine is a local film director. He has a film coming out here soon. We're going to have him on the show. So we're going to learn all about filmmaking and stuff and everything, and how all that stuff works or whatever. So that'd be also a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah.
And then we might play some trivia. I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe writing up some stuff or whatever. Maybe I'll put you and Allison through a gauntlet of questions and stuff, and then y'all will never come back. It'll be great. just
I'm
be in a room.
Smoker.
Yeah. Guys, so thank you so much. Until next time.
See ya.
Goodbye.